Hello everyone, I'm Shruta. I work with the Humsafar Trust, which is a community-based organization in Mumbai, India. Humsafar literally means companions on a journey, and we've been working in the field of sexual health for LGBT and rights since over 20 years. So let me start off by sharing a background of the anti-sodomy laws in India. Anti-sodomy laws were introduced by the British in the year 1960. The British left India in 1947. What they left behind in India were the anti-sodomy laws in the form of Section 377. So Section 377 criminalizes all forms of sex that are not penovaginal by defining them as unnatural. So basically, if you're not having sex to produce babies, you could go to jail. The punishment here is anything from 10 years to a lifetime imprisonment, and it's a non-bailable offense, which means if you're in, no one can get you out. A lot of legal agencies, human rights organizations, health activists, community members have been trying to fight this law for over 15 years, and we finally saw a ray of hope in July 2009 when the Delhi High Court recognized the rights of the LGBT community to live their life with dignity by reading down Section 377 and by decriminalizing consensual non-penovaginal sex between adults. However, we took a huge step backward 5 years later on 11th December 2013 when the Supreme Court of India criminalized consensual anal sex, basically anything that was non-penovaginal under Section 377, by revoking the landmark Delhi High Court judgment. What the Supreme Court even said at that point of time was that the LGBT community is a minuscule minority and our rights are not their responsibility, that we would have to approach the legislator to get Section 377 revoked. What followed after that was this. Now, India as a country exists in one time zone. However, we live in 5 different centuries. What you see on your left-hand side here is the reaction that media expressed on the Supreme Court verdict. The media supported the LGBT community and said that what the Supreme Court did was not right. We had some cooperatives that spoke out in our favor. But on the other hand, you had conservatives who spoke very much in favor of the Supreme Court verdict. What the conservatives said, in fact, the gentleman up there he was the president of the opposition party at that point of time. He's currently the Home Minister of India. He said that they support the Supreme Court judgment because homosexuality is unnatural and should not be encouraged. So this is the legislator that we're currently dealing with, the ones whom we have to approach for working our rights out. It was around the same time that the Humsafar Trust, along with the University of Texas, University of Minnesota, and Tata Institute of Social Sciences, were implementing a study to understand the risk behaviors of MSM, transgender, and Hijra community who use the internet to seek sex partners. The duration of the study was from June 2012 to 2014. We named the study the Ish Connect study, which means love connect, because it was the internet. And we aim to understand issues pertaining to violence that the communities online faced while seeking sex partners. We surveyed around 342 MSM, transgender, and Hijra individuals living in the state of Maharashtra from a period of September 2013 to May 2014 via an online survey that included questions about violence and harassment from online-offline sexual partners. And we advertised this survey on dating sites such as Planet Romeo, social networking sites such as Facebook. The advertisements that you see on your right-hand side were used as banners, as advertising material to get respondents to click on an online survey, which led them to a different website where they answered questions pertaining to their sex life. To protect confidentiality of respondents, they were compensated with an online voucher that they could use for online shopping. And along with this survey, we also collected on case reports of violence and harassment experienced by individuals of the LGBT community from the media, as well as in person via qualitative interviews. So the qualitative part of it, the media reports underwent thematic analysis at the same time. And these, what you see here, are results from the IshConnect survey. Now, what our survey indicates is that we might have just broken into a very unique population. A lot of individuals were from urban areas. More than half appeared to be from a steady income bracket of 25,000 rupees a month, which is quite decent considering Indian standards. 88% were college educated, indicating high levels of literacy of the people we surveyed, and their mean age was around 30 years. I would like to highlight that this population would generally use the internet to seek partners because they would be more likely to be closeted. They would be the ones preferring anonymity, which is why it would be difficult to access a population like this on a physical cruising site. And yes, anonymity, closetedness is further highlighted in our results. So individuals who reported meeting partners online were more likely to report being asked for money after having sex as compared to those who met their partners offline. They were more likely to report threat and sexual coercion as well, suggesting that our population online might be more vulnerable to being blackmailed, to being coerced, as compared to those who meet their partners offline. I will now present some of our observations from our media analyses and from our thematic analysis on reporting. Here are some of the media reports that appeared in newspaper after the Supreme Court reinstated Section 377. If you can closely observe, it's amazing how media has equated Section 377 to gay sex. Section 377 does not mention the word gay, homosexual, anywhere in its language. It's interpreted as being against the homosexual community because a lot of people would like to believe that non-penovaginal sex is just something that's limited to LGBT. So the section per se can even equally convict heterosexual people. However, it just becomes a tool for blackmailing of the LGBT communities when it's implemented by or when it's looked up to by law. Even the media, in fact, looks a little dicey when they just report about how Section 377 is gay sex, whatever that means. Some of our qualitative observations indicate that there have been multiple cases of blackmail and theft against the LGBT community ever since Section 377 has been reinstated. The most common way to harass someone who is MSM, transgender, or hijra would be to honey trap them. So ever since Section 377 has come back, these gangs have mushroomed all around the city, who would possibly set up dates with people online, meet them on isolated cruising spots, take them to a room, blackmail them, beat them, and then demand money. We don't know what's the nexus between them, but we do know that quite a few gangs are working in sync with each other, and this is quite a regular occurrence now. Most people who are blackmailed under Section 377, saying that if you do not give me money right now, I'm going to take you to the police and ask them to file Section 377 on you. And people are scared because they are criminalized and they don't want to approach the police after that with the further of being booked under Section 377. The Humsafar Trust does intervene in crisis scenarios depending upon willingness of the community impacted to further pursue the matter. So in the last 5 months that have seen Section 377 back into action, the Humsafar Trust has received complaints from almost 16 individuals within Mumbai who have come to us and said that they have been blackmailed, coerced, harassed, the spectrum really. But out of these 16, only 5 have agreed to pursue the matter further. That too after much persuasion, much assurance of support from the Humsafar Trust. In a lot of instances, people like to keep their names out of it, and though they would want to do something about it, they're so scared of the law that they decide to just put up with it and suffer in silence. Most individuals who have blackmailed the community are these gangs that have mushroomed up. However, there have been instances of blackmail from the police as well. In such situations, the community is even more scared to approach anyone, because whom do you go to when the people who are supposed to protect you are the ones who trouble you? So the media too has caught on to the fact that Section 377 is making the LGBT community more vulnerable to violence. There have been instances from all over India, and as per the tracking records at Humsafar Trust, over 91 instances of harassment have happened all over India since Section 377 has been reinstated. I'm sure there are many more, because these are the ones that have just been reported by media. There's a lot that happens at the grassroots that does not find its way up. So our conclusion is that the data clearly demonstrates adverse public health effects of Section 377. Section 377 is a bad law that's going to impact the lives of so many people, make them more vulnerable to HIV, make them go back into the closet, and basically just take away their rights to life and dignity by just being there. It needs to go, and we are trying our level best by knocking on all possible options to get rid of this law. So everyone in this room can support us a little too. We have a petition, an online petition, that calls for 100,000 people who will say no to Section 377 for us. This is a petition that's addressed to the Prime Minister of India, and it would just take a couple of minutes of your time to go online, find us on Twitter or on Google. Just click on the petition and share a link on your Twitter accounts or Facebook accounts. We have reached 8,000 people so far who will say no to Section 377, and we hope that the numbers just increase from here on. I would like to thank the Indian Council of Medical Research for their support of the study, NIH, and University of California, San Francisco for being awesome and supporting the study and our work all the way through. I would like to thank you all for listening to me. I'm sure we have a lot of time for questions a little later. And a big thank you again.